Alright, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So my fabric is on fold and my tie is 28 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 15. So this is the 15. Okay, so the next thing is to mark out 1 inches from the edge of your fabric. 1 inches from the edge of your fabric is standard for everyone. 1 inches is a standard measurement for everyone. So you use your straight ruler to connect. So the next thing I'll be doing is to take in my body rise, which is the same thing as my crouch depth. My body rise is 11.4. 11.4. So I'm going to be using my straight ruler to connect. This is 11.4. So after that, I'm going to be taking my new measurements. My new measurement is 25. So this is the 25. This is the 25. I'm going to be using my straight ruler to connect. So the next thing, remember I'm using the full length as my wrist, my length of my trouser. So I'm going to be taking my waist measurement from that line I marked out, which is 9, and my waist is 28 divided by 4 plus 2, which is 9. So I'm going to come to my body rise from the edge of my fabric. I'm marking 9. Remember, from the waist I marked from that 1 inches, but the body rise I marked from the edge, so I'm connecting the straight line. So from that line I'm marking my dart, which is 3.4. so I'm using length 6 or 5 for my darts, and at the both side I'm putting 0.5 for the dart. I'm going to use my straight ruler to be connecting it. So the next thing, I took my tape from the edge of the paper to the line, that line I got 4 divided by 2, which is 2. So I'll be using my angle 45. I know all of us know angle 45, so you connect. So I'm going to be taking that 2 inches there. I'm putting that 2 inches there. So I'm going to be using my curve ruler to connect. So this is my curve ruler. I'm going to be using it to connect the lines. You can see it. So the next thing I did is to find the midpoint from this edge of my fabric. From the edge, remember we measured our answer for the crouch. From that edge we measured 9, and for the waist we measured from that 1 inches we marked out. That's where we measured our 9. So now I'm looking for the midpoint of this fabric, which is 7.5. so this is the midpoint, 7.5. I'll come down, look for the midpoint. The midpoint is 7.5. Look at it, 7.5. You know the fold of the fabric is 15, and how we derive that 15? I say your tie 28 divided by 4, 28 plus 2 divided by 2, 28 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 15. So that's how we got the fold of the fabric. So now on your nail, my nail is 16 divided by 4. So what I got is the answer I'm putting on both sides. My wrist is 11 divided by 4. So what I got is what I'm putting on the both side. So I'm using my straight ruler to connect. So you know that 16 for my knee is 16 divided by 4, which is 4. For my knee wrist, 11 divided by 4, which is 3.7. So that's what I put there. Okay, so the next thing, from that's 1 inches we'll mark out, we're going to mark connect it to that hip line. Remember I said that my body rise, which is my crouch, I start the measurement from the edge of the fabric, which is 9. But for the waist, you can see that I made a curve there. For the waist, I start my measurement from the 1 inches I mark out with, which is the 9. Okay, now I'm going to use my curve ruler to connect from my knee towards that my body rise. So now I'm going to be using my same curve ruler to connect from this side to my crouch, or you can call it body rise. Okay, so the next thing, for I want to mark out my pocket. My pocket is, I marked out 2 inches from that 1 inches I measured from the waist. Look at it, from the 1 inches I measured from the waist, I'm marking out 2 inches. I'm marking out 2 inches from the 1 inches I measured. See it, 2 inches from the 1 inches I measured. And for the length of the pocket, I'm using 5. And if you look at this body rise now, I measured my 9 inches. That is, I said my waist divided by 4 plus 2, I got 9. I start the 9 from that 1 inches I measured. And when I came to the body right, which is the crowd there, I measured the answer from the 9, same 9, from the edge of my fabric. So now here I'm going up with 1 inches. This 1 inches is for the fold of my fabric. I guess you guys understand that my crouch line. Remember, I measured my 9 inches from the edge of the fabric. But for the waist, that 1 inches I marked, I started from the 1 inches I marked. So this is the fold of the fabric. So the next thing for us to do is to cut this out. So this is the cutting out. This is the cutting out. So you use this front piece to place on another fabric to cut out the back piece. So now my pant is being placed. My pant is being placed, and remember the back pant is bigger than the front pant. So on the back pant, I'm going up with 1 inches. It's constant, and I'm going to be using my curve ruler to connect. So for the front pants, you see the way I cut. For the front pants, I'll be using band. So I took out 1.5. You can see my first cutting, I took out 1.5 to cut out the band I'll be using for the pants. I removed 1.5 from the front pants. So now for the flap of the back pants, I'm using 1.5. It's constant for everyone. It's constant, so I'm using my curve ruler to curve it. You see the way I'm curving it. So I'm extending my back crouch with 3 inches. If it's for fat, it's for someone that is very fat, you can use 3.4. Now you come to the knee line. I'm extending it with 2.4, which is 2.5. Now for the wrists, I'm extending it with 1.4, which is 1.5. So I'm going to be connecting the lines. I'm going to be connecting the lines. So that some people ask, what is that down meant for? The down is meant for the fold, so that if you are folding it, your trouser won't squeeze. So this is the back crouch. So now I'll be cutting it out, cutting the pants out. Okay, so this is the cutting process of the pants. Remember, the bag doesn't have pockets, so it will be on the normal shape. It's only the front part that has pockets. See the way the back is, and the 1 inches we went up with, you can see the way I'm cutting it. So now I'm cutting the flap, the back flap. Look at the way I curved mine. Okay, so this is the back extension.